This will be the first initial video for the Ecliptic EDC YouTube channel, and today we will be going over the Ecliptic EDC Quazar LED hand spinner. So the LED hand spinner has two LEDs that are individually turned on and off by a simple switch in the back. For owners that already have them, you may be wondering exactly where the switches are, and those are the small black pieces here. Now you could turn those with the fingernail on your thumb while holding the back of it and pressing on the LED surface itself so that you have a more controlled feel of it, and turning it clockwise to turn it on and counterclockwise to turn it off. Some people have mentioned they are a bit stiff. If we keep turning the back button all the way around counterclockwise, we could see that we could access the battery itself, and we access the black piece that acts as a switch. Now there is a small nub here on the black piece which I cannot get in focus. However, it is interfering with the threads itself, and you could see it there. So between the threads themselves, there is a small black piece that will contact and friction fit with the housing itself. So that is what causes the really hard twist. So if you are wondering how you could somehow make the buttons a little bit lighter, that is the modification that you would have to do. You would have to sand that little nub down so that it doesn't interfere with the surface of the LED housing to the point where it becomes very stiff. I'll be putting the battery back together. There is a small wire piece here that is supposed to be laying flat. Then you will place your battery on top of that, and then thread the black piece back onto the LED housing, and we have a working LED again. Okay, so this spinner is comprised of a lot of pieces, including the two LEDs themselves, the 4 steel weights, the 4-piece button system, and the body of the spinner itself. So for those that are wondering, the LEDs can be pushed out. Simply pushed out with fingers. If you'd like, you could super glue them onto the body itself. The reason to be able to push them out is to be able to offer LEDs in the future. Now the fact that you could push them out can be problematic in some sense, as in the sense of if they are pushed out just a little bit, they could knock the spinner out of balance, and just like that it could be out of balance and fall down. So as you can see, I have a bit of wobble right here because the LED is not pressed in. So what you would like to do is press the LED in the back first so that the back of it is seated, and then the front of the LED here in the edge of the spinner so that you can get a full seat of the LED into the spinner body. Okay, so now that we've covered that, we'll be going over maintenance of the spinner itself. So the button system does not allow for the bearing to be pushed out in either way, as the buttons are larger in diameter than the bearing itself. So to access the bearing itself, you could unthread the button itself. So as you can see, the bearing uses a post screw system, so the portion that has the threaded end has the male portion of the post screw. For a future modification, you could also super glue the surface of the head there to the button. It is not necessary, but it will offer a much less problematic system so that you don't have to worry about the male piece coming loose. For all of these spinners, I use washers instead of these printed male parts. So this would be a washer instead of these printed components, and you could access the bearing itself. This is a very cheap steel bearing. I used full ceramic hybrids in the last run of Quazars, so you would be seeing white balls in the center of the cage. So these bearings are glued in with a very slight amount of adhesive, so if you'd like to, you can push them out for cleaning. If anything, you could do simple maintenance with compressed air to the main bearing with some alcohol that won't hurt the main body itself since it's printed. You could super glue it back together. It's very easy to take out the bearing and put it back together again. The body itself is the same thickness as the bearing, so it's pretty easy to get it fully centered again. Okay, so now that we have conducted the maintenance of the body itself, I personally like to have the female portion of the post screw up. I think it looks much nicer than the flathead variants. Then we have, for those that already purchased one, you would have a center core and a washer. So you would place those back together to minimize any wobble of the buttons themselves, and then threading on the buttons themselves. So you could use a flathead in this portion, or simply flick it until they are together again, and you have your fully assembled Quazar again. So that is the Ecliptic EDC LED Quazar, and I hope you enjoy it. The link for the Etsy store for these will be posted down below, as well as our Facebook owners group, where I personally update everyone on the projects and products, and I hope you have the opportunity to purchase the best LED hand spinner in the market. So this is the Ecliptic EDC signing out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.
I would like to ask you to describe your profession.